We're excited to see the next generation of our business step forward in active roles in our business. Our family has been in the wool business for 4 generations in wool sales, wool buying and wool sales. And it's not going to end in our generation. It's going to carry on.
It's exciting for both of us, obviously, and for all of us, really to try and carry on the legacy and to try and grow the business in new ways that that hasn't been thought of before. And that's really how we will thrive in the future, is finding new ways to do things differently.
There's a lot of innovation to be made. There's a lot of design to be made. So it's just really exciting to have all these new opportunities. And I think as the next coming generation, it's going to fall on us to find solutions and for the environment, for clothing, and a lot of that can be found in wool. And so how wonderful is it that we get to be the generation that brings that into our world. So
in contrast to, so many jobs, especially right now, everything is digitized and more of jobs are done on a computer. And of course, there's a huge element of that to what we do, but it feels really good to be working in an industry that is still so close to the land that sort of keeps us all together. It's real, it's raw, it's so dependent on soil and water and air still, the product, which it just sort of makes it really wonderful to sort of tie back, to have this really tangible thing that at the end of the day you get to help create.
As we've seen, throughout this conference and, really the trend, as not just in the wool industry, but in every industry, is that people are more interested in the story than ever before, and it's great to be a part of a story like ours, a family enterprise that gets to put fibers and gets to create or gets to sell to the U.S. military. It's something that it's prideful, and it's a great, people are more convinced, or more at least enthusiastic than ever, about staying close to the source and about in knowing at least the blockchain and the entire the story behind the wool that they wear and the food that they eat, and you see the trend in everything in every industry. And so it's a point of pride, for us to be a part of that.
It always comes down to supply. That's by far the biggest challenge we have today, and it's probably always been that way. That's why our family believes in keeping it close to the shearing pen, keeping very close to the grower. Because if we're close to the grower, then we're going to have the supply to move our family's business forward. It's most obvious right now is unprecedented wool prices right now. I've been in the business for 35 years, and we've never seen prices like this ever. So that's great for the producer. It's additional challenges for the people who use the wool in production, to keep it in the supply chain, to keep it usable and competitive against the number one fiber, which is, of course, synthetics.